So have you ever wondered why you act the way that you do in your relationships in life? Whether it's a significant other, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends. In this video, I am going to talk about relationships and the dynamic of relationships through the lens of the ancient system of the 5 elements. Sit tight. Welcome back to another video. My name is Jen Palco. Today we're going to talk about relationships again through the eyes of the Chinese 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. Now I've done a video a while ago on the dynamic of relationships with yin and yang, but today I'm going to go one step further and I'm going to go into the different archetypes, you could call them, or the different element personality types within relationships. Okay, again, this is with either intimate relationships, okay, love relationships, could be with family or with friendships, any kind of relationship that you're in. So before I get started, I highly suggest you check out some of my other videos on the 5 elements and the 5 element personality types. I've done a bunch of videos on each one individually so you can get a better sense of where your strong points are or which elements might be weaker for you. I say this all the time that we have all the elements within us, okay? So we're not just a fire, we're not just a water, but we do have a constitutional element or one or two that are stronger in nature, that are within our nature. It's basically how we filter our world, how we respond to the world. And that's why I like to do videos on the 5 elements, because it can teach us a lot about ourselves and why we act the way we do, whether it's in relationships or whether it's in the workplace. It can really teach us why we respond the way that we do, why we respond to stress in the way that we do, what kind of physical manifestations might pop up for us as opposed to other people that we're always prone to, say, a cough over, a stomach ache or something like that. So it can teach us a lot, and basically the 5 elements, again, are how we are walking through the world, how we are filtering. It's almost like we have some kind of glasses on and we're filtering our reality differently from everybody else. Okay, so we're very, very unique in that sense. So this is why it can be very helpful. So when it comes to relationships, all the elements are going to work together in some sort, but if you can identify and recognize which may be your more dominant elements in your life, it can tell you a lot about how you are interacting with your husband or wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, coworkers, okay? You can identify which element is your strength, and then maybe, what that other person, what their strengths are, which elements are stronger, which are weaker for them, and that can tell you how this dynamic is working. So let's get into them individually, okay? I'm gonna briefly go over them. I'm gonna start with fire, because fire is a lot of fun. Fire is the most young. It has to do with summer. It has to do with the emotion of joy. It has to do with the organ of the heart, okay? The heart and the pericardium, which is the heart protector. Now, also the small intestine. Now, fire is, if you've seen my video about the fire element personality, fires can be a lot of fun. They can be playful. They're not necessarily looking to go, when it comes to relationships, intimate relationships, go into the depths of the ocean of a relationship. So a fire person, you may notice, is more about the fun of a relationship. Some people could call them maybe superficial. Out of balance, water can have a tendency to get attached to maybe just their desires, okay? Sex, satisfaction, okay? Because it's trying to fulfill that heart's need or that need for connection in some way. So they can get out of balance, they can become attached to like past emotional traumas and all kinds of stuff like that. But in general, fire is going to be more on a yang, it's the most yang level. So it's going to be kind of up here, can be a little scattered. The virtue associated with fire is going to be order. Okay, so out of balance, a fire element, somebody who has strong fire within them may be scattered, chaotic. They move from relationship to relationship because what is fire? Fire moves very quickly and expands, okay? So fire people, they're going to nourish earth people, okay? So this is the thing, in the 5 element cycle, how I said it's all connected. Each element nourishes the one following, okay? So you may notice that, okay, an earth person, earths are more grounded in nature, okay? Has to do with the digestive system, comfort, grounding. If you think of earth, very grounding, right? Out of balance, earth element types can be too much of a people pleaser. They can get needy. Okay, they lose their sense of trust in themselves, and they're giving and giving and giving and never self-nurturing. Okay, so that's the earth out of balance. The emotion associated with earth is going to be worry. So they may worry about things. They may worry about their relationship all the time. They overthink things way too much. Maybe they don't want to go out of the house because, again, they're very grounded. They like to stay home. Okay, so a fire and an earth together, fire can pull the earth out a little bit, okay? So they may, if you have somebody who's a fire and an earth together, it could be a good match because earth is grounding the flightiness of the fire, but also fire is going to bring out more of the earth, okay? It's going to bring out more of the fire in the earth because, again, we have all the elements within us. So if you think about it, you know, we're going to nourish each of these. But on the other hand, elements also control each other. So, for example, if you have a water and a fire, water controls fire, fire controls metal, metal controls wood, and wood controls earth, and earth controls water. So this is where it can get a little complicated. Sorry, my lines are a little crooked there. But it can get a little complicated when you think about it. But at the same time, think of somebody who's very fiery, very playful, very scattered in a sense. If they're with a water person, they can get along because water is going to kind of extinguish some of that fire, some of that flightiness, okay? Again, it's like grounding them because this is yin, this is yang. And again, the fire can bring out maybe more of the water person. But it can also lead to complications in relationships. So don't just think that just because, okay, we're nourishing each other, nourishing, that it's always going to work out because everybody's different, has different personalities, right? So you may find that you're bashing heads, right? This person wants to go out, they want to play, they want to have fun. And this person just wants to isolate, sit at home, read a book. They may want to, because water is has a lot of depth to it. A lot of water people are very philosophical. They like to read. They have a tendency to isolate in relationships sometimes. So if a water and a fire together, that's an interesting combination because fire people want to maybe go out and party and have fun because they have the energy, the yang energy to back them up. Whereas the water may be okay going to the cafe or the coffee shop. They don't have quite the energy to back them up where they want to go to big parties. They don't like big parties. They don't like little small talk on the superficial layer. They want to talk about the meaning of life. They want to talk about, you know, why am I here, right? And so if you have a fire and a water together, they can get along, but at the same time, there may be differences, okay? Where this person wants to go out, wants to do things, and they say, hey, well, why don't you ever want to go with me to this party? They don't quite understand that waters just feel like they can't will themselves to do that. And a water person will say, hey, why are you always like going out partying? Can't you just like sit still? Can't you sit still and do nothing? They're not going to quite understand the dynamic here, right? So this is where it can lead to issues. Let's see what else. So metal, we haven't talked about metal yet. Metal is metal's an interesting element. It's about grace. It has to do with the lungs and the large intestine. So it's about taking in fresh inspiration, but also letting go of things that no longer serve. Metal element can be about perfection. self-perfection, self-respect. They hold themselves high regard. They have high morals in life, which can be good in relationships, right? They're less likely to cheat in a relationship or have an affair or something like that. Or they, maybe a decent, like an Earth is a really loyal friend. Metals can be decent friends, but they uphold certain standards in a relationship, friendship, coworkers, okay, intimate relationship. So they not only want themselves to be perfect, but they look for perfection in other people. So if other people aren't upholding their ideals, there can be some mismatch there, okay? They may detach from a person in a relationship. But in general, metals, they have the courage, they have the ability to inspire somebody else in this dynamic, say in a friendship or something. But they're about simplicity, so they're not going to be fiery. They're more of a yin, right? Because we're going back into yin right here. So they may be a little more isolated, but again, they're about perfection. And metal is nourishing water. So these two are very yin in nature. So a metal and a water, they may have nice conversations about the meaning of life or going inward, or they have the ability to detach a little bit more. Metal, the emotion associated with is grief. So they can be prone to grieving past relationships, past friendships. Again, it's like depression in some cases. So, fire is going to control metal. Metal is going to control wood. So wood is about control, vision, planning. Woods are an interesting element too. Wood has a lot of energy to back them up. Wood, oftentimes you'll see that a wood and an earth together. So an earthy person, again, is grounded, they're a little more slower paced. Wood people are the go-getters, okay? They're the ones that want to be the leaders in society. So if you have a strong wood personality within you, strong wood element, you like to control situations. You have a tendency maybe to get angry when other people don't follow your lead or can't keep up with you. You have a very competitive edge to you. Again, you have the energy to back you up. The thing with wood is a lot of times people have strong wood within them. Will think they're always right, or they need to be right, and they can't quite understand that other people don't get them, or can't keep up with them, or can't do certain things. So you'll find wood often overacting on earth pretty often, and this leads to an earth deficiency in a lot of people. Our society in general is wood in nature. We're trained to be very woody. We're trained to always, go, 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 no pain, no gain, really plow through, right? But if you're not necessarily have strong wood within you, then you're going to get yourself burnt out. So in relationships, wood can have the tendency to be a little controlling, jealous, anger, frustrated sometimes. So they have to watch, okay? Wood element associated with the liver and the gallbladder. So you can see how the dynamic of all of this plays out. It's very, very interesting, and I'm not going to go too much more in depth because I don't want to make this video too long, but again, check out some of my other videos on the 5 elements. If you have any questions, let me know. But I just want to clarify again that this can be really, really helpful to see how you are interacting with one another, why you may not be getting along right now with your significant other. Also over time, even though we do have born kind of with a constitutional, dominant element, how we respond to things in life, our view on the world, things will change over time. You'll notice it'll change. Like people in relationships, suddenly they may get more earthy later in life, okay? And earlier in life, in their 20s, they have a tendency to be more fiery, right? It all depends on where you are in life. And this is what the point I want to portray, is that we're always changing, we're always evolving. And when it comes to things like archetypes and personality types, everybody is interested in discovering who they are, what's their type. But this may change over time, depending where you are in your life, how old you are, what kind of, environment you're in. It's going to probably change. So we're not set in stone. Nothing in life is set in stone. That's why I like this, because it corresponds to nature. Nature is always changing, always evolving, so we can place ourselves within the constructs of nature to understand ourselves better and to accept ourselves more. It's all about self-acceptance and realizing that we don't fit into one little box. You know, we may say, oh, well, I'm a fire personality, I'm a wood element. But you're not, because you have all the elements within you, and you'll see some come out more than others. Say some in your life you're a little more fiery and playful, and then, I don't know, winter comes and you feel like you're going into your water more, depth, looking for more meaning in your life, okay? Out of balance, maybe you have more fear because of what's going on right now with pandemics and all kinds of stuff. It will change, it will evolve. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any comments below. Check out some of my other videos. I'll put a bunch of links below to check out, again, all the different element types and all that good stuff. So on that note, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.